It's a Heidel Minicast. And now, Scott Clark.
We're on page 147 of Machen's Christianity and Liberalism, where he's talking about the doctrine of salvation. Today, we're just a couple of days away now from the Great Lakes Conference on Reformed Theology, Worship by the Book 2023. That's the 14th. It's Saturday, this Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Oakland Hills Community Church, OPC, Farmington Hills, Michigan. And Kim Riddlebarker will be talking about the Lord's Supper. D.G. Hart will be talking about well-ordered worship, and I will be talking about whether all of life is worship. There's also a Q&A session moderated by the Reverend Jonathan Cruz. Still just a few seats left, and tickets are $20, and you can get more information, and you can order your ticket and get your place for the conference at heidelblog.net/GLRC. See you then.
If the Heidelcast helps you, won't you help us keep it going? Please make the coffer clink by clicking on the PayPal link or by sending a check to Heidelberg Reformation Association, 1637 East Valley Parkway, number 391, Escondido, California, 92027.
Beginning on page 147, Machen wrote, "But the Christian life is lived not only by faith, it is also lived in hope. The Christian is in the midst of a sore battle, and as for the condition of the world at large, nothing but the coldest heartlessness could be satisfied with that. It is certainly true that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. Even in the Christian life there are things that we should like to see removed. There are fears within as well as fightings without. Even within the Christian life there are sad evidences of sin. But according to the hope which Christ has given us, there will be final victory, and the struggle of this world will be followed by the glories of heaven. That hope runs through the Christian life. Christianity is not engrossed by this transitory world, but measures all things by the thought of eternity." But at this point, an objection is frequently raised. The otherworldliness of Christianity is objected to as a form of selfishness. The Christian, it is said, does what is right because of the hope of heaven. But how much nobler is the man who, because of duty, walks boldly into the darkness of annihilation? The objection would have some weight if heaven, according to Christian belief, were mere enjoyment. But as a matter of fact, heaven is communion with God and with His Christ. It can be said reverently that the Christian longs for heaven, not only for his own sake, but also for the sake of God. Our present love is so cold, our present service so weak, and we would one day love and serve Him as His love deserves. It is perfectly true that the Christian is dissatisfied with the present world, but it is a holy dissatisfaction. It is that hunger and thirst after righteousness which our Savior blessed. We are separated from the Savior now by the veil of sense and by the effects of sin, and it is not selfish to long to see Him face to face. To relinquish such longing is not unselfishness, but is like the cold heartlessness of a man who could part from father or mother or wife or child without a pang. It is not selfish to long for the one whom, not having seen, we love. Such is the Christian life. It is a life of conflict, but it is also a life of hope. It views this world under the aspect of eternity. The fashion of this world passeth away, and all must stand before the judgment seat of Christ. Very different is the program of the modern liberal church. In that program, heaven has little place, and this world is really all in all. The rejection of the Christian hope is not always definite or conscious. Sometimes the liberal preacher tries to maintain a belief in the immortality of the soul, but the real basis of the belief in immortality has been given up by the rejection of the New Testament account of the resurrection of Christ. And practically, the liberal preacher has very little to say about the other world. This world is really the center of all his thoughts. Religion itself and even God are made merely a means for the betterment of conditions upon this earth. Thus, religion has become a mere function of the community or of the state. So it is looked upon by the men of the present day. Even hard-headed businessmen and politicians have become convinced that religion is needed, but it is thought to be needed merely as a means to an end. We have tried to get along without religion, it is said, but the experiment was a failure, and now religion must be called in to help.
Thanks for listening. Tune in tomorrow for more from the Heidelcast, brought to you by HeidelbergReformationAssociation.org. Don't forget, when the coin in the coffer clinks, the cost of bandwidth shrinks. Copyright Heidelberg Reformation Association. All rights reserved. This is a Heidel Media production.